but I suspect they don't have one.
Fair point.
Maybe the Alfa should
Bring
one with them.
one, yeah.
Yes. Other Italian cars are allowed, by the way, besides Alfas, Fiats, and Lancias, sometimes see. 5-second board is shown. Red light goes on, and away go the first 5 cars. And the revs will continue to rise for the rest of them, and it is a Union flag that drops. And there it is, away we go. And a good start by James Ford from
John Billingsley's already pretty much at the front of that group.
It's certainly up to about 3rd, wasn't he, as they headed off the line. Yes, there is the 147 of Billingsley, but it's Bork that's got the advantage on James Ford in 2nd. And John Billingsley already 3 places up from 6th to 3rd on the opening lap. Overall, I can see, as we go on board with Tom Hill, it is Scott Austin ahead of him as they head down to Tower Corner. It's about 4 or 5 car lengths between them. They've already made quite a good break from the rest.
Yeah, that next group I can see also that Billingsley's taken 2nd going into Tower, so from the back to 2nd in that group. Icarino in the middle of that, and the black car, Gabriele Icarino.
And here is that next group. There you can see Billingsley is up to 2nd.
Yeah, Bork is leading it, Billingsley 2nd. The rest of the red Alphas is in 3rd, which is unusual in that group.
Yes. James Ford with his brother Richard behind him.
Broom on the back of that quintet.
So they're making their way through Sunny. The leaders outright are already with us at the complex. There's the 3rd, 4th and 5th place cars, and the Icarino's made a little spot, hasn't he? He's made up to 3rd position now, ahead of Graham Seeger. So Seeger, very experienced Alfa exponent, down to 4th position. Here's the Twin Spark Cup battle on our screen now, and Bork and Billingsley are together.
And Tom Hill, meanwhile, attacking Scott Austin up at the front.
Yes, we'll see if we can pick up on that in a moment. It's still, here we are. It's still the silver car ahead of Scott Austin. Here's this scrap for 3rd overall, with number 97 Gabriele Icarino ahead of Graham Seeger and Andy Inman, and the 4th of the V6 class cars, the 156 GTA behind the 147 GTA of Seeger. Here are the 2 leaders down at Tower, and there's not much to choose between them.
No, that's right. And the cars, I sense, are quick on different parts of the circuit, so it's an evenly matched lap. But still holding sway is Scott Austin in the 156 pole car. To Croft, skating through there nicely. Quite a few little dive planes on the front of that lead car, a big wing balancing out in the back. There's Thomas Hill, Motor Italia car, one of several prepared by them.
Yes, and you can see that does look at least more production spec, doesn't it? Without the appendages.
Quite clear of the rest.
Yes, we're already 12 seconds clear of the rest at the end of the first lap. And that's what happens when you get a modified car, and also the drive for the quality of Tom Hill. And he gets a good run on Austin as they come out of the hairpin, and he's got his nose in front now. Austin's going to have the inside line though. Thumbs up from Tom Hill as he goes past his pit crew. And
then gets retaken.
Well, look at the timesheets, as they say, because he's ahead on them as he came over. Actually, they were credited with exactly the same time, 0.00 gap, but Hill's name appeared first on the timing screens at the end of that lap, so he can say at least he led a lap. Although that might be stretching the point. Interestingly, the 3rd, 4th and 5th place cars are being caught by the leading Twin Spark Cup cars, and it is now John Billingsley that's got to the front of that group, because Andrew Bork is down to 2nd place within that class. We've had a change of lead there, and John Billingsley, yeah, he's lapping about 3 seconds, or 2.5 seconds a lap faster than Andy Inman ahead of him. So in these conditions, the Twin Spark Cup cars are going to get amongst the V6 engine cars.
And the first 4 are kind of jostling up towards the trio at the back of the first Gridsworth as they come out of Tower. Billingsley and Bork, and the Ford brothers are in hot pursuit.
Lincolnshire-based Ford brothers.
Oh, that was tight going down through Exeter and Clark S's. In the group ahead of them, that was Yacarino and Seeger and Inman. They've all been caught by this group.
Yeah, it's not normally supposed to happen, this, is it? But they're right with them now. These less powerful cars. You've got Inman now under pressure from John Billingsley, and this could actually change the complexion of the battle for the Twin Spark Cup, because it's now Bork coming up on the inside of Billingsley. He's got the lead back there of the Twin Spark Cup as they go into the complex. Is he going to keep hold of it? Yes, he is. Just about.
And now the Fords are coming around the outside of Billingsley, who was rather stymied on the inside.
And it's Richard actually, rather than James, isn't it?
Yes, that was down at Sunny.
So this is very interesting now, because they've got these theoretically quicker cars that are lapping a bit more slowly actually than the Twin Spark Cup cars ahead of them, who are no doubt going to get involved in this. Although as conditions improve, possibly the conditions will go back towards the V6 cars. Richard Ford there was very badly out of shape as he went into Clairvaux on that occasion. The finance director of the championship sponsor, HITEK. Been racing for 8 years now. So it's Bork ahead of Ford, then Billingsley. Really good race this amongst the Twin Spark Cup contenders.
Always good when 2/3 of the field are fighting for the for position.
It is, yes.
And they're not far between behind this pair, because Yacarino had Inman fighting for place. Inman went over the curbs, and that reprieved Yacarino.
Out front, Scott Austin stretching his lead over Tom Hill. Up the inside goes Richard Ford, and he takes the lead at Sunny of the Twin Spark Cup part of the race. So number 9 briefly goes through round the outside at the second element of Sunny. Bork holds on. Really good racing this in the Twin Spark Cup. Scott Austin's just on the best lap of the race overall, 1:39.35, as he extends his lead over the rest. So it's Bork, Richard Ford, Billingsley and James Ford, the first 4 in the Twin Spark Cup part of the race, and they're still just behind the 3rd, 4th and 5th place cars in the V6 class. Which of course down the straight have the legs over the Twin Spark Cup contenders, but it all compresses in the corners. And here is Billingsley coming back at Ford now into Clairvaux, but he's on the outside line, so he's not going to make anything of that, I don't think. I think if these Twin Spark Cup cars weren't battling among themselves, they would probably have got past the V6 cars if they were just focusing on their own business.
Yes, in some ways they'll be regretting starting 10 seconds later, won't they?
Yes, they've certainly been ahead on.
Makes for a better race, in fact.
It does.
Richard Ford fending off Billingsley. Billingsley looks up the outside, but Ford on the inside line for Tower keeps it. There's Billingsley, who tricycling through the corner, bouncing that inside wheel in the air.
Scott Austin's coming past our commentary position to complete his 5th lap.
Clearly has some grunt, doesn't it? You can hear it sizzling as it goes past.
That's right, and he's done. The screen's yet to update itself. Actually, 1:38.83 that time, which is about 6 3/4 seconds off what he did yesterday in the dry, which does suggest that the conditions are certainly coming back. There's Billingsley there, and Ford were getting overlapping with each other. Billingsley, I think, is getting ahead. No, he's not getting ahead of Richard Ford there, but it's mighty close. Andrew Bork right on the tail of Andy Inman as well for 5th position overall, although not for class position.
Look up the inside from Billingsley. Ford looks to the outside. Now he's blocked in behind Andrew Bork as they go down towards Clairvaux.
Billingsley has a run on him, but he's going to be on the outside for Clairvaux. He's in the white 147 on the right hand side of shot. But yeah, he has to tuck back in behind Richard Ford in number 9, and Bork is just getting away a little bit at the front of this twin spark group now.
Yeah, and James Ford comes back into that little tussle as well, as a result of getting an uncompromised line. Billingsley goes to the left of Richard Ford, going up the straight, gets his nose ahead halfway to the tower. But Richard Ford might be wise to that, just hanging on the inside. Bork still ahead of them, the class leader.
So Ford and Billingsley battling away over second position within the Twin Spark Cup. Scott Austin goes through to complete another lap. We're into the second half of this race now, just under 10 minutes left to go in this HITEK Electronic Materials Alfa Romeo Championship race. Alfa Championship been running for a long time now. Recently switching to run with the 750 Motor Club after a long time association elsewhere. Not quite so many cars on the grid this weekend. Had a decent turnout at Silverstone for the opening event of the season, and we'll hope for more cars on the grid in future rounds. Minutes left to go. Bork, Ford, Billingsley, James Ford, and Toby Broom actually is, I think, gained a little bit on James Ford over the last lap or so.
He's got more confidence, hasn't he, as the circuit begins to dry out.
So you've got basically 5/6 of the Twin Spark Cup class together, and still right with the back three from the front wave. So from third back to 10th, there's only 5 seconds separating them, so that's really tight.
In the top 6, in fact, third place, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th have all lapped in the 47's best lap, but Broom behind him is just on a 46, so he has closed in on merit.
Certainly has. In fact, he's done 2 46s on the trot as Broom, 46.45 and 46.55, so he's certainly gaining in confidence. He's right there with James Ford.
He's squeezed up the inside, hasn't he? And that puts him on the outside for the Jim Clark S's, but he might be able to carry a bit of momentum behind Billingsley, who there is attacking Richard Ford in the black car.
Just see if we can spot what's going on just behind them. Yeah, no, Broom's had to tuck back in behind James Ford there. Let's watch Richard Ford in the livery of his company and the sponsors, HITEK. There's Broom then, number 33, fastest man today in the Twin Spark Cup part of the list, but only the 5th position of the 6 cars that we have in that part of the competition. Not the biggest grid that we've got this weekend, but still a very good race in the HITEK Alfa Romeo Championship.
You've got 8 of the 11 having a battle. That's always going to be good. Yacarino still leads them from Seeger, Inman, Bork, Richard Ford, Billingsley, James Ford, and then Broom, Toby Broom. Billingsley again has a tentative look at the outside, but isn't quite close enough. He cuts through the chicane, they're just hopping onto the edge of the gravel in the middle element of it. But there's 23 and 33. James Ford and Toby Broom trying to get back in. Scott Austin through again.
Yeah, it's complete lap 8 with 6 minutes to go. I wonder if he's going to catch and possibly lap the big group of cars that we've got battling. That's not beyond the bounds of possibility. As Broom round the outside at Tower to get ahead of James Ford. I think he might have made that work this time. He's going to have the inside line for Jim Clark, as well as a bit further up the road, Richard Ford and John Billingsley go side by side through Jim Clark as well.
Billingsley carried more speed into it, and he had a little bit of a moment middle of the corner, whereas the black car of Richard Ford took the ideal line, not using much road on the exit to open up the next part of the Jim Clark S's and the run down to Croft and Sunny.
Take a really good run here, just challenging Billingsley there through Sunny. Still Yacarino in 3rd position at the head of the group of 8 cars that's about to go past our commentary position here. reminder, it's 1.56. Scott Austin still leading from 75. Tom Hill in second. It's 13.5 seconds between them, and more than a minute from Austin to Iaccarino in third place. No matter, because they're having a good dice. Broome has lost a bit of ground to Billingsley. He's about a second behind him, so just gradually spreading out a little bit more, this group. There's Broome with James Ford behind him, fourth position in class.
And Broome took the Billingsley line up over the curb, sort of across the edge of the gravel and turned it in.
3/4 minutes left in this race. It's certainly dried out as the race has gone on. There's some blue sky above Croft now. There's Richard Ford up the inside of Billingsley. Billingsley possibly going to get the cut back on the exit of the corner, but that's going to put him on the outside line for the first element of the Jim Clark S's. This is Gabriele Iaccarino, number 97, with Graham Seeger, the very experienced Graham Seeger, number 5 behind him. And then we should see this next battle coming through. Here it is. Ford, Billingsley, Broome and Ford.
A bit twitchy from Billingsley, and that's allowed Toby Broome to get closer going into the corner, but he's now going to watch his mirrors because James Ford is filling them. Billingsley switches sides, comes up the inside, has a look into the complex, but that only compromises his exit speed. There's yellow flags waving there as well. I'm not sure what that's for.
Yeah, it's a yellow flag, I think, between
the exit of Sunny and the complex.
Yeah, because there's a green flag as they come into the complex. So have we lost him? Oh, what a contact there! That's between Broome and Billingsley. You can see the biff on the front of Broome's car. It almost lifted. Well, it did lift Billingsley's car up momentarily, I think. Landed back. Oh, and there's the reason. It's 97 Gabriele Iaccarino, and he's I'm afraid gone off heavily into the barriers there by the looks of things. Didn't see how that happened. But Iaccarino didn't come through, so it's Graham Seegan out to third and Inman up to fourth position overall. Iaccarino had been running very well in third place. And the last lap board has gone out as well, so possibly with that car off the circuit, they've decided to get the last lap board out a little bit early here. As we're watching the 156 car of Scott Austin, then on his final lap. And he is making his way through. Here is the scene at the Jim Clark S's. That's Richard Ford and John Billingsley battling for second and third within class. It's then James Ford and Toby Broome having lost that position after that incident with Billingsley 3/4 of a lap ago.
Yes, there'll be no, I guess there'll be no overtaking on the exit of Sunny there. There's Iaccarino off on the left at Sunny 2.
Yeah, so yellow flags there. So these drivers have still got to see the last lap board though, so these have still got another lap to go. Oh, and off the road there has gone Richard Ford, just beneath our commentary box, just behind it. There he is, just reappearing into shot. So Richard Ford, who was second within that group, has now dropped effectively to the back of it, and John Billingsley second. James Ford is then Andrew Bork. Toby Broome is fourth, so they're going on to their last lap. The leader, Scott Austin, is just coming into the complex for the final time in number 156 car. It's going to be one lap shorter than it might have been this race, as he heads into the complex, or into the hairpin for the final time. The only modified class car in this race, so probably expected to go on and win it. That's exactly what he's going to do. And Scott Austin, in terms of outright victories, is unbeaten this season in the HITEK Electronic Materials Alfa Romeo Championship. There is Tom Hill on board with him as he goes across the line flamboyantly to take the checker flag. Very happy with that.
It's a class win, isn't it?
It is a class victory as well. Second place, therefore 12 seconds behind the victor, but we've still got the Twin Spark Cup to sort out. Heading up towards Sunny for the final time. Andrew Bork started this lap about 2.5 seconds ahead of anybody else. There is Bork, and he's trying to get up the inside of Andy Inman on the final lap at Sunny, but then decides better of that. And do we still have yellows there as well? Possibly so. So, I mean, Bork doesn't need to overtake them. He's got a comfortable enough I say that, John Billingsley's right with him now, isn't he, on this final lap. He was 2.5 seconds ahead at the start of it, but John Billingsley's right with him now, so possibly Bork has been held up a little bit to the hairpin for the final time. Is there going to be late drama here? Billingsley to the outside of the circuit will try and cut back on the inside of the hairpin. Can't do it, so I think it's going to be Bork that's going to come through to take the Twin Spark Cup victory behind Seeger and Inman, who take 3rd and 4th overall, 5th, and the Twin Spark Cup victory goes to Bork, 6th to Billingsley, 7th to James Ford, 8th to Toby Broom, 9th to Richard Ford, and then a lap down actually is Robin Hall in 10th position. So all of the cars have now completed their race, and for the fact that we only started with less than a dozen of them, Marcus, that was pretty entertaining.
That was brilliant, wasn't it? 8 of the 11 embroiled in a scrap for much of the distance, which was just not expected, but very welcome.
It certainly was. The Alfa Romeo Championship, that's going to continue at Anglesey in July, about 2 months from now actually, so quite a long gap. Then Brands Hatch, Cadwell Park and Alton Park will complete their season. Let's see if we can bring you the results then from that HITEK Electronic Materials Alfa Romeo Championship race. And it was a clear win, 12.45 second victory for number 156, Scott Austin. In 2nd place was number 75, Tom Hill. 3rd was number 5, Graham Seeger, almost a lap down. And 4th, number 80, Andy Inman. And then the first of the Twin Spark Cup class cars was number 86, Andrew Bork. From number 8, John Billingsley, 23, James Ford, 33, Toby Broom, 9, Richard Ford, and the last of the finishers was 100, Robin Hall. And we lost, I'm afraid, Gabriele Iaccarino, about 2 laps from home, wasn't it? Up there at Sunny, looked like he'd nosed into the barriers and eliminated, sadly, from the race that he was running in 3rd position. So that's the Alphas, and all from them for this weekend. We still have 2 more races to come here this afternoon for you at Croft. We've got coming up next the Toyota MR2 Championship, the Toyota Tyres Toyota MR2 Championship, and we're going to complete the action this afternoon with the Tagiwa Club Enduro Championship, the 125-minute race that gets underway, well, straight after the MR2s have finished. A reminder that there's lots more 750 Motor Club action to come this season, but we'll tell you more about that later because Tom Butterworth is ready in the pit lane.
So back down into the pit lane again as the Alphas continue to file their way through. We're going to have a chat with Scott Austin, your overall race winner. Scott, it looked a bit close for comfort at the start there, but then it seemed to settle down and pull away.
Yeah, I'm running slicks on the front and wets on the rear, so it took a couple of laps to get them hot enough to, really make them work, and then it was okay.
Okay, you're confident it wasn't going to rain anymore then during the session?
Absolutely not. I think it was spitting actually on the second warm-up lap. Okay. And it was like, oh no. But anyway, it stopped. So,
I mean, what would you have done? Just carried on and made the best of it, or?
I'd have had to. I couldn't. I haven't got 22 guys to come and change the tyres, unfortunately, in 2 seconds. Red Bull, if you're listening.
there's a sponsorship opportunity somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'll just get Brown Ball, no, my luck.
But anyway, 2 races, 2 wins, so pretty happy with that and good for the championship?
Absolutely, yeah. Leading the class, hopefully, and yeah, doing the best I can.
Great stuff, congratulations, and we'll see you at the next round.
Hopefully.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Oh, yep, and we're back this way. And a nice congratulations there as well. So Thomas Hill, again, first in class, second on the road, and kept Scott nice and honest for the first few laps as well.
Yeah, we're trying hard. I think, it was a really tricky call at the start of this race, because we've got obviously really changeable weather. Yeah. We took a bit of a risk going on wet tyres. I think it paid us forwards in the first couple of laps, but obviously later on in the race, Scott made a masterful decision going on slicks. And, it was just a case of time management, really.
Yeah, he's gone half slick. He's gone slicks on the front and wets on the rear.
He's a talented man. Yeah, I'm not man enough quite to do that. But yeah, no, I just went for wets all round. We got there in the end.
Absolutely, play it safe, exactly, and you never know what's going to happen, do you? And Scott was saying it was spitting on the warm-up lap as well. So you must have been thinking you'd sold under a lucky star at first.
That's it. I thought we were going forwards, but you know, it's just a case of trying to hang on his coattails as per race one, and you know, as critically get it to the end of the race.
Great stuff. Well, congratulations again. 2 races, 2 class wins. Cheers. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And finally, we're going to move round towards the back here, and we've got Andrew Bork. So again, another class win.
Yeah.
How was that for you? It looked pretty exciting. The 2 in front of you had moved well clear, but then there was just a massive battle raging.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there were 8 in it at one point.
yeah. So, you know, I tend to worry when it's wet. Then when I get out there, it's kind of like I love it. So, and then I spent most of the race fighting with Andy Inman in the power cars. I was literally going into sunny in, sunny out. Through the rest of the lap, I was right on his bumper. And I just couldn't get past him. And then when the lap started again, he'd just kind of pull away. And then it, you know, it was a repeat of the same thing. But yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, it was great. So.
He got the power, you got the handling.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So and then I tried a few other areas to get past him, but I just couldn't do it. So you know, but one of those. So
well, it certainly looked exciting. And what was your tyre strategy? Because we've had a split strategy here, and we've had full wets all round on the.
We're just control tyres on ours, but you know they're good in, you know, the dry and the wet kind of thing. It's obviously it's a bit more slippy in the wets, but. Yeah, there was a few areas where there was just grip and it just stuck, and then some areas going through turn 1, it was kind of just like hold on for your dear life kind of thing and just get the car through the corner kind of thing. So yeah, it was awesome though. Yeah, great race. So loved it.
First lap, you just chuck it in and hope for the best, and then you find out where that grip is as the laps go on, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I realised a few of them weren't doing that, and I think that's where the gap was coming, especially down the back part. I just you know kept it flat, and then it kind of just stuck. It kind of slidey, but it just stuck. So. And yeah, and then I seen the gap appearing behind me. So yeah, and it seemed to work. So yeah, it was great. So
great stuff. Thank you, Andrew, and congratulations again. 2 races, 2 class wins for all 3 of our Alfa drivers this weekend. So thank you very much. Moving on, we will hit the race number 2 of the Toyo Tyres Toyota MR2 Championship.